Hello YouTube and welcome back to Angry Dave's Adult RC. This is your host, Angry Dave. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button if you want to stay up on all the crazy RC shit we're doing, and hit the notification bell so you know as soon as the videos get uploaded. This week we're going to bust into a brand new kit and start putting it together. Probably going to be more than one episode, so let's see what we got and rip into it. So this is going to be our latest project. This is the racing buggy Sand Scorcher from Tamiya, whatever, also known as the Special Racing Buggy. So we're going to go ahead and rip into this thing and see what it takes to get it put together, see whether it's a pain in the ass or not. Looks like a pretty cool kit. It's a pretty well-known kit. It's been around for a long time. This is actually the 2010 re-release. This is not technically an unboxing or review, although I pretty much review everything I play with. So let's get into this box and start putting this bitch together. Alright, let's get into the box here. Alright, so here we go. Got a complete vehicle. I think the only thing that's not in there is a receiver and a servo. It comes with a speed control, it comes with a motor. So we're just going to go ahead and put it together. I don't think we're going to do a paint job right away. First we're going to get the thing all put together, and then after I stare at it for a little while and figure out how I want to paint it, we'll go ahead and start working on that. But for now, let's just get a quick look at the directions and see how this bitch goes together. Here we got some warnings. Don't do dumb shit. We got transmission case and tires. Sticker sheet. Styrene body. Glass. Here's our water and sandproofing electronics box for the chassis. Plastic bumper. We'll replace these with aluminum eventually, but we'll probably use them for now. Here's the speed control. Here's most of your suspension and steering, along with the motor. Chrome parts. Wheels. Foam insert. I think that goes in the electronics compartment. Driver and a couple other details. There's a nose piece. Here's the filler panel for the sunroof. Exhaust pipe. That's what I was looking for. Now we got directions. We can start putting this fucker together. Oh, wait a minute. There's one more box. Heavy. Must be metal parts. Oh, there's lots of stuff in there. Bumper. Hardware. Chassis pan, roll bar, big long crazy antenna. There's lots of miscellaneous hardware and shit in there. It's not really worth looking at. We'll see it when we put it all together. So let's bust out the directions and see what we're doing first. Alright, so here we are looking at step number 1. Already not real impressed with these directions. They're I know it's hard to describe why they're not great, but trust me, they're not fucking great. But we got everything laid out here that's going to be involved in the first step. We got all the gears and the shafts and the bearings and the proper bolts. These are going to be your M3 by 18 millimeters. You get both of your universal joints ready to go, both of your transmission halves, and then obviously your internal gears and bearings all ready to go. We got some Loctite. We got some grease supplied with the kit. So we're going to go ahead and put this together. You'll notice when you're putting this gear in that the step is shorter on one side than it is on the other. Might be kind of hard to see on camera. It's a little easier to see it in real life. It does actually mention that in the directions, so you want to pay attention and make sure that gear goes in the right way. Alright, so here we are with the transmission bolted together. Got the U-joints on there. Everything spins nice and happy and greasy. Time to lay out the next step and continue on. Alright, so here's step 2 laid out. Not a ton of parts on this run. And here we got it all laid out. So we got our 4 little M3 by 3 millimeter grub screws. Both control arms, both torsion bars with the brass bushings. They're already installed. I don't have to do anything with those. And then you got these little shafts right here, which are machined with a flat right there for the grub screw to catch them in the front. So I'm assuming this is going to be a bit of a pain in the ass because there's a lot of parts here that kind of have to go on and go together at the same time. So let's give it a shot and see what we can fuck up. Alright, when you slide the brass bushing in, make sure the flat spot is already on the bottom where it can catch the grub screw. Otherwise, you got to take it out and reclock it, which is a pain in the ass, especially once you put grease on the fucking part. Same thing with the front. Make sure, where the fuck is it? Make sure the machine flat spot right there is lined up with the grub screw. Now just repeat the process on the other side. Alright, so here's step 3. Install the motor and the axles, and hopefully we don't have any issues. Here we got the parts laid out. Got the motor, here's the motor cover, got a 12mm screw and two 18mm screws. We got both axles, both bearings, both grub screws, and we already have the retainer clip installed so they don't get lost. So let's put this shit together. Alright, so here we got that part assembled. We got the springs actually hooked to the lower control arms, so they got a little bit of spring to them now. Time to move on to the next pile. Alright, so here is step number 4. Got the ring and pinion, or the spur and pinion, and the cover. Should be pretty straightforward, not a whole lot of parts. Got them laid out here. We got the spur, we got the pinion, we got the grub screw, we got the drive pin and the center screw, and we got the 4 screws in the cover. Shouldn't be a whole lot to this. Let's go ahead and get this fucker knocked out. Shit. There's a washer that goes there too, and I forgot the damn washer. Got the spur, got the pinion, got the cover. That all went pretty smooth. So next, on to step 5. Alright, so here we go with step 5, assembling of the roll bar. Here we got the parts all laid out. At the rear bumper, got the roll bar, got the pipe joints, two 3mm by 22mm long bolts, 2 nylock nuts, and then for the antenna we have the antenna mount, a 6mm by M3, and a washer. Let's put this shit together. Boom. Easily the simplest step so far. That's what it looks like. We're going to go ahead and get most of the ass end of this thing assembled, and then we're going to call it an episode, and we'll pick it up on the next time around. So let's see what the next step is for now. Alright, so here we are. We're skipping ahead to step number 8. Step 6 and 7 is assembling the shocks. We're going to do that next time. For now, we're just going to go ahead and get this roll bar assembly onto the rest of the rear end. We got all the parts laid out to do that, and then we're going to call it quits on this one. So let's get to it. And there we go. Fully assembled ass end of a Sand Scorcher. We'll put the front end together and finish the chassis and the shocks next time. So don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell so you know when we get the next step of this thing going, and share, leave a comment, and we'll see you next time on Adult RC, where grown-up time is playtime.